Sorry, Venkat, the answer to this question is very simple. Valuation of an asset, whether done based on liquidation value or based on as a going concern, it has to be realistic. It has to be realistic. If somebody is goofing in doing the valuation, you as the RP have a right to say, look, your valuation is not correct. And if your valuation is not correct, this asset cannot be sold. So if the COC is coming to you and asking you as to why you are not selling this asset, you tell the COC the valuation valuer has done the valuation which is nowhere close to the reality. And just because you as a valuer decide a price, the buyer is not going to pay that price. Buyer will pay the price what he finds worth it. So if the buyer is not finding your price to be worth it, either you agree to his price or you keep sitting and waiting for someone to come in future, and that will never happen. That will never happen.
100% I agree with your presentation.
Yeah.
But in reality, if I go by the buyer's value and the realization is pittance, then I am taken to task as the liquidator. How come such a good asset of such a high value has been sold for such a low price? What is it? Because my liquidation itself comes under question and inquiries.
Right. So that's where Venkat, you have because you are the RP, you have
And the liquidator also.
you're the liquidator. So remember, as a liquidator, you will use somebody else's valuation report as a support. It does not mean that you do not have to apply your own judgment or your own mind. You
I'm
have to,
constrained.
yeah, you have to apply your mind, you have to apply your judgment, and using your judgment and your mind, you need to come to a conclusion as to whether the value that the valuer has given is correct or not. So if it
Agreed,
is,
sir, but the issue is the law is very precise. It says take the ordinary liquidation value, which is 85% of the fair market value for the first advertisement, and on each subsequent ad, if the asset is not sold, I can go maximum marginal 10%. So when I reach the market expectation price, which is 20% of the original fair market value, I have to give 20 advertisements for more than 1 year.
okay. Now see, Venkat, that is what I'm trying to highlight. Please see, this is the mistake. Unfortunately, most of the RPs are making in this country. Please understand, as an RP, you are supposed to be the chief executive of that entity. You are supposed to making use of your business acumen. If any regulation which is not based on the reality, remember, don't try to suit yourself to the regulation. If the regulation is not realistic, tell IBBI the regulation is not realistic. Please understand, that is what all the RPs have to do in this country. See, what is happening is, Venkat, you got a short which is narrow in size. Now somebody has given the short to you, and now what you're trying to do, you're trying to fit yourself into that short or that shirt. Now tell me,
Yes.
what is the right thing to do for you? Is it right for you to try and fit yourself into that shirt, or tell the person who has given that shirt to you, please sir, this shirt is not for me, this is for somebody else. Please give it to somebody else. See, that is what you need to do, Venkat. Be realistic and see, that is what is required. That is what is required.
Okay.
Sir, please tell me one thing. I have one more issue here. Whether the scope and the purpose is given properly to the valuer. That is my question, sir. If you,
Yes, sir, it is given.
okay, fine. Uh,
It is given and it is discussed in depth, and they are working very closely and they know the scenario in full. But still, they want to safeguard themselves for future illogical questions or inquiry coming up on them.
Yeah.
Other factors also, I think we cannot discuss on that. Even the promoter might have did something. I don't want to discuss.
All right. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Please continue, sir. Sorry.
No, no, no. It's okay. It's okay. It's just that.
Thing cannot be discussed over phone.
True. 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 True.
Question, no.
All right. Can you
Going concern liquidation concept, I said.
can you see the slide on your screen now?
Yeah.
So we are now on the finance and financial statement analysis. Okay, friends. So having understood as to what is valuation, what is value, why do valuation, having understood the linkage between the valuation and the decision making, having understood.
Flow is very clear, sir. We are really thankful to you, sir. It's very clear.
Okay, good. So, having understood all this, having understood what the process is, what is premise of valuation, what is the standard of value,
Yeah.
we need to now shift, and having understood the entire process of valuation, we now need to shift to another very important topic, and that is financial statement analysis. Now, obviously, if you and I have to do valuation of an entity, you and I need to deal with the numbers. And if you and I have to deal with the numbers, we need to have a good grip on the financial statement analysis. That means how to make use of the financial statements for the purpose of decision making. This is going to be our focal point for this session. And this is what is the syllabus. So you got a finance, decisions in finance, and financial statement analysis. So you start with the time value of money. As valuer, friends, you will realize that time value of money, understanding of time value of money is extremely crucial. And that is where I am going to give you some exercises also, and so that you are into the habit of solving practical problems as well. And so we'll start the time value of money. Then of course we look at the decisions in finance. This of course all of us are practicing professionals, will not really need so much of attention, but what will need attention certainly is the financial statement analysis. So let's go to the time value of money. We all understand what is time value of money. The value of money, change in the value of money with the passage of time is time value of money. In simple words, a 100 rupee note in my hand today is going to be worth less 1 year down the line. That means I will not be able to purchase as much as I can do from 100 rupees today as I would be able to do 1 year down the line. And that is your time value of money. With the passage of time, value of money goes down. That's time value of money. Time value of money, friends, has got two aspects. One is compounding, we all understand, and second is discounting, we all understand. Compounding has got four components. One is future value of a single cash flow. That means what you're trying to find out, that you are going to get a single cash flow in future. So what is going to be the value of the single cash flow in future? That is your future value of a single cash flow. It can also be future value for a multiple cash flow. That means what happens when you are going to receive certain amounts over years in future. So second way of finding out the compounding is future value of multiple cash flow. Then you got a future value of annuity. Remember, what is annuity? Is very simple. When the amount the amount of inflow or outflow is same, interval at which it is received or paid is also same, the rate of interest is also same, and the period is also fixed. When all these four components are fixed, in that case it becomes annuity. what is the advantage of annuity? Advan- Advantage of annuity is that you do not have to calculate the future value individually for all the years. You can simply apply the future value factor of an annuity and you can find out the future value in one shot. As valuer, not only for the exam but also for the real life, we need to understand as to how do we find out these values. I'm going to give you some small exercises so that we are able to get into the habit of solving these problems, because these kind of problems you will find coming in the question paper. So as compounding, so in case of compounding, what you do, please remember, in case of compounding you find out the future value of present cash flow. And in case of discounting, what you do, other way around. In case of discounting, what you do, you try and find out present value of future cash flows. So this is the reverse relationship. So in case of discounting also, remember, it can be, you need to find out present value of a single cash flow. So that means an amount that you're going to receive in future. What is going to be the value for you that you need to find out? You may need to find out present value of multiple cash flows. So what is multiple cash flows? That is what will happen for all of us. So we work in companies. When we are doing the project planning, or when you are doing budgeting, you can imagine that the amount of the cash that you will that you will have in your hand over the years is not going to be same figure. Every year it is going to be different. So that is your multiple cash flow. So how to find out present value of that multiple cash flow is what we need to understand. And remember, that is what is intrinsic value. I'm sure you will remember that is what is intrinsic value. Then you have present value of annuity. So as we saw in case of the compounding, what did we understand? When the amount is fixed, rate of interest is fixed, interval is fixed, period is fixed, it becomes an annuity. Same is the case for discounting also. So when the money that you're going to receive is fixed, the period for which you're going to receive is fixed, the return that you're going to, the cost of capital is also fixed, and the period for which you're going to receive is also fixed, it becomes annuity. So as I said earlier, in case of annuity, what is the advantage? In case of annuity, the advantage is you do not have to calculate the present value individually for each year. You can simply apply the annuity factor to the amount of cash flow and you will get the present value of the annuity, or present value of all the future cash flows that we are talking about. And then you have a capital recovery factor. So in case of compounding, there was something called sinking fund factor. I'm sure you would remember during your CA days or CS days or CMA days, having, or in your BCom days, having read about sinking fund factor. And so what is sinking fund factor? Sinking fund factor is, if I had to redeem an obligation in future, then how much should I start saving, so that this saving at a given rate of return amounts to the amount that I have to pay in future. So that is the sinking fund factor. So sinking fund factor will let you know as to how much do you need to invest every year or every month. So in case of discounting, you call it as capital recovery factor. So what is capital recovery factor? Of course, friends, is very simple. It is finding out EMI. So how do you find out the EMI? You find out EMIs by using the capital recovery factor. So this is the compounding and the discounting. These are the 8 aspects of time value of money. Now friends, what we are going to do, we are going to discuss and understand each of them one by one. And I'm also going to give you small caselets, and I would like all of you to solve them. And once you solve them, I will give you a time of 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. After that, you can speak up and tell me as to what your answer is, and then of course I will solve it for all of us. So let's begin. This is your future. And what I would also suggest, I'm sure all of you are keeping a notebook with you, as I had mentioned in my WhatsApp message to you. So you should also keep copying down all these formulas, because that will help you to solve a particular case. So this is your present value investment factor of an annuity, right?
So are you going to share the PPT with us?
Yes, I will share the PPT with all of you. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
I will share.
Sir, one thing more.
Yes, Ankit.
And sir, this recording will also be available to us, sir. Sir, this
PP.
recording will also be available to us.
No, recording will not be available. PPT will be
This
available.
recording would also be available to us.
No, no,
Okay, sir.
no, no.
Okay.
Can we
Thank you. Sir.
Okay, okay. All right. So this is the formula for present for future value investment factor, and here is a small case. So please find out. This is a case where value of rupees 1,000, which we have invested now. At the end of 3 years, given that rate of interest earned is 4%, how much will be the future value of this investment of 1,000 rupees today when your rate of interest is 4%? So what will be the value, a future value of this cash flow 3 years from hence? Rate of interest is 4%, and please find out. Should not take you more
Sir,
than.
what is the formula? I am
Okay.
unable to note down the
No,
formula.
you can do it now. You can do it now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Sir, what is K?
K is the interest rate.
Yeah, K is your interest rate.
N is the number of years.
N is the number of year. A is the amount of cash flow.
1 plus 4 by 100.
Okay, so let you find out, and it should not take you more than 1.5 minutes. How much, Ankit? Yes, Varun, how much it is?
We are going to find what is 1.004 to the power of 3.
Double 130.
1130. Okay. Devang. It is 1124.86, as you can see on the screen. So how do we find out? Just place the numbers in the formula. Puneet, are you able to get this?
I'm trying to, yes.
Okay, good.
1124.86.
Yeah. So this is your formula for finding out future value of a single cash flow. Now I am sure, friends, you can imagine and you can understand very easily. If this is the formula for finding out the future cash flow for future value of a single cash flow, what will be my formula for finding out future value of multiple cash flow? That means I will need to have multiple. So this is my cash flow for this is for the year 1, year 2, and year 3. So I am sure you can imagine. So if the total period is 3 years, my investment of the first year will remain invested for 3 years. So that's why you see here it is N. In case of second year, it is going to be N minus 1, because on that investment I will earn return only for 2 years, and for the last year it is N minus 2, because on that investment I am going to earn a return only for 1 year. So you can quickly write down this formula in your notebook. And friends, I purposely want all of you to write all these formulas in your notebook. Don't make the mistake of not noting down. Please understand, when you note it down in your handwriting, it is creating a memory in your system, and that would help you in better understanding of it actually. So please do that before I show you the small case that I would like you to solve. Varun, are you okay?
Yeah.
Anil?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, sir.
Okay, good.
How will you do 1.04 into 3?
How much? What is that?
How will you do 1.04 into 3?
1.04 into
Power of 3.
power of 3. So this is the first part that you see here.
So 1.04 into 1.04. It is 3 years you can do 3, 10 years like that?
Yeah, so your first years
We
in
have a table.
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, please tell me.
Sir, if it is 3 years, we can do 1.04 into 1.04 into 1.04. But
Yeah.
suppose it is 10 years plus.
Yeah, so that means you extend it 10 times.
10 times, or is there any table formula like that?
Yeah, so you have the tables also available. You have a calculator also available. So you can make use of calculator.
Acha.
Yeah. At this point in time, our objective is to understand the concept of the future value of multiple cash flows, so that tomorrow when there is a question, then you are not taken aback. So you know that this is what it is, and you are able to handle it. Okay. Ritesh, are you okay?
Fine, sir.
Good. Very good.
Sir, can we use the multiple flows by using
Can you use what?
multiple cash flows? Is it possible to use simple calculator and get the answer?
Of course, it is possible. In that case, you will have to do it so many times. Because if it is multiple, in case of multiple cash flow, you will have to do it so many times, unless it is an annuity. If it is an annuity, then you use the annuity formula and straight away multiply with the cash flow. All right, friends. So let me show you the problem. So this is the problem. Please find out. Should not take you more than 2 minutes again. Pradeep ji, are you okay?
Can we use engineering calculator for this?
Yeah, I think there is no problem. As a matter of fact, when you go for the examination, the computer that you will have, that itself will have the calculator facility available. So you can use the calculator. There is no problem.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so what is the answer? Anyone?
9191.43.
Fantastic, absolutely. Who's this is
Venkat.
Venkat. Yes, Venkat. 9192 is the answer if you round it
Yes.
off.
Yes.
I'm sure everybody must be getting the same. And I want to have a quick confirmation. Ritesh, are you able to get this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good, good, very good. Anil,
sir.
Anil,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
fabulous. See, remember, these small things that we are discussing, if you keep on understanding them right from the very beginning, you will find your journey of passing the exam very easy. The people who have failed 18 times, 19 times, 20 times is primarily because they fail to understand these small things. Now these small things, they help you to crack the big problem, those case studies. So unless and until your fundamentals are clear, your basics are clear, you will find it extremely difficult to solve those case studies. And when you are not able to solve the case studies, then it becomes difficult to pass the exam. Okay, very good. So now let's move forward, and I'm going to give you one more now the annuity factor. So this is future value investment factor of an annuity. I'm sure you will remember. As I said, what is annuity? When the amount is fixed, period is fixed, rate of interest is fixed, interval of the cash flow is also fixed. When all these four things are fixed, it is known as annuity. Annuity can be with regard to the future cash flows. Annuity can be with regard to the present cash flows. So this is the formula that you see on the screen is your future value investment factor of an annuity. So please note down this formula before I give you the case. Okay, can I give you the problem now?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here is the problem. So what I am also giving you simultaneously is the sinking fund factor. And please remember, what is sinking fund factor? It is reverse of the future value investment factor of an annuity. So what you see on the screen now is the future value investment factor of an annuity. You understand what is annuity? When everything is fixed, it is an annuity. So what is the advantage of, how do you find out the future value of an annuity? Simply multiply the annuity factor with the cash flow and you will get your future value of the annuity. Now, reverse of this or inverse of the annuity factor, future value investment annuity factor, is known as sinking fund factor. How does sinking fund factor helps us? Sinking fund factor helps us, as I said little while ago, in finding out if I have to send my son to US for his future education 3 years from now, and he needs, let's say, 30 lakh of rupees. How, and rate of interest, let's say, is 6%. How much should I deposit every month for next 36 months, on which I am getting 6% rate of interest? What amount should I deposit every month for 36 months so that it becomes, together with the interest, 30 lakh of rupees? Sinking fund factor will help you find that amount. And this is your sinking fund factor, which, as you can see, simply reverse of the future value investment factor of an annuity. You can please copy this also down, and you can see in the bottom that sinking fund factor can also be written as 1 upon future value investment factor of an annuity. And Surya, tables are available for all this, and I understand the examination hall also have the facility of giving you the tables. So in case if you want, you can request them. They will give you tables also in case you do not want to use calculator. All right. So can I give you the problem now?
Yes, sir.
Everybody?
Please.
Everybody? Okay, good. So here is the problem. A Limited has to repay 55,000 worth debenture at the end of 5th year, 5 years from now. How much should the firm deposit every year where the rate of interest is 5% so that this amount becomes 55,000 at the end of 5th year? So what you have to do in this case, you have to use the sinking fund factor. That means use reverse of the future value investment factor of an annuity.